With the release of Fire Emblem Three Houses just around the corner, the franchise has another chance of making it big in the mainstream. Here's everything you need to know about the latest entry in this tactical RPG series. Fire Emblem Three Houses releases exclusively for the Nintendo Switch on July 26th. This marks the first time the franchise can call a mainline console home since Radiant Dawn came out on the Nintendo Wii in 2007. For more than a decade, the series has only been on handhelds, primarily the Nintendo DS and 3DS. This will be the first time we'll officially see Fire Emblem in true high definition. July and August are devoid of any other strategy title releases, but the game definitely has some competition to worry about. It releases the same day as Machine Games' Wolfenstein Youngblood, a spin-off title of that popular franchise. And just a week before, on July 19th, Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3: The Black Order launches exclusively on the Switch. The first title in the franchise, Fire Emblem Shadow Dragon and the Blade of Light, came out for the Famicom in 1990. If you haven't heard of it, we don't blame you. The game was only available in Japan, and to this day, Nintendo hasn't officially released it worldwide, aside from a remake, Fire Emblem Shadow Dragon, which hit North America in 2009. The first time the West saw anything related to Fire Emblem was in 2001 Super Smash Bros. Melee, when Marth and Roy joined the fight. In 2003, the West finally saw its first proper Fire Emblem game, The Blazing Blade. Since then, most of the games have come out internationally, but sales simply haven't flourished. The franchise was on the chopping block, but then Fire Emblem Awakening ended up being a smash hit on the 3DS, eventually selling almost 2 million copies by December 2014. Fates, the next title, had the biggest US launch in series history. Fire Emblem is the tactical RPG. Developer Intelligent Systems essentially invented the genre. Players control an army of up to 20 or more soldiers. Each one occupies a tile on a grid-based map, moving around to attack enemies. Some maps have extra objectives, like saving a hostage or escaping the area. But more often than not, it's all about army versus army.
So there are conditions and challenges to every battle.
Yes.
You can equip each unit with an assortment of gear, like different swords, axes, staves, and tomes, depending on their classes. However, each character has certain strengths and weaknesses to always keep in mind. For example, if you have flying units, you'll want to keep them away from archers, who absolutely shred their wings. And here's the emotional kicker: if a unit dies, you lose them forever. Recent Fire Emblem games have a mode that takes away permadeath, but many fans believe they're not really playing Fire Emblem if they use it. Three Houses is the 16th Fire Emblem game. Luckily for players new to the series, there's no obvious ongoing narrative. You won't miss any major plot points. If you have played previous titles, you might catch some references you'll appreciate. And yes, some of the games do directly build off each other. For example, Blazing Blade takes place before Binding Blade, and Radiant Dawn features a save transfer mechanic so you can continue the story from Path of Radiance. Plus, hardcore Fire Emblem fans will tell you that some of the games are set in the same universe. Colloquially called the Arcanea series, games including Awakening and Echo's Shadow of Valentia all take place in the same world at different times. Nonetheless, Three Houses hasn't made any clear references to past games, and the continent of Fodlan seems new. In Three Houses, you'll play as the newest professor to join the Officer Academy. Nested within the walls of Garreg-Mach Monastery, the continent has broken up into three nations: the Adrestian Empire, the Holy Kingdom of Fagus, and the Leicester Alliance. The monastery sits in neutral territory at the center of the three, maintaining the peace. In the Officers Academy, students from the three nations study under their respective houses: the Black Eagles, the Blue Lions, and the Golden Deer. These are the students you'll interact with and teach throughout your time at the monastery. Eventually, there will be a 5-year time skip, at which point all three nations will be at war. What sparks the conflict hasn't been revealed yet, but the situation will challenge players with the emotional toll of war. Some of your former students could become enemies, setting an intriguing backdrop. Toward the beginning of the game, you'll have to choose your house, and by extension, the nation you'll side with after war breaks out. Throughout the game, you'll interact with the characters from your nation the most, teaching them, molding them, and leading them into battle. That also means roughly 2/3 of the cast will become your enemies.
You're not just choosing the students who you want to teach, you may be choosing which side you want to take and, an impending war.
Three Houses gives you 3 different ways to play the game, almost begging you to play it 3 different times. You can make your experience a little more modular, as you can convince students from other houses to join yours. By earning their respect through various means, you can essentially create an all-star team, regardless of national boundaries. Perhaps the best part about this decision is that it makes your experience quite your own. Your friends might choose a different house and convert different students, creating a whole different experience. Fire Emblem games are known for having a plethora of characters. Three Houses is no different. Edelgard leads the Black Eagles, but she plays double duty as the axe-wielding princess of the Adrestian Empire. The blonde-haired Dimitri plays a similar role for the Blue Lions, as he's also heir to the Fagus throne. Claude leads the Golden Deer, and he's likewise in line to lead the Leicester Alliance. The staff members of Garreg Monastery also play key roles. The most important character would likely be Rhea, the leading archbishop of the church. This green-haired woman invites your character to the monastery in the first place, sparking your grand adventure through Fodlan. Another key character is a mysterious, time-bending amnesiac named Sothihis who lives in your brain. She saves your character from death in the beginning, after which she lends you her time-manipulating powers. Your character becomes a professor at the Officer Academy, and that's more than just a title. It actually translates to gameplay. Every week you set your students up for success in battle through various tutoring mechanics, including seminars and lectures. This expands on the class progression system that Fire Emblem has had for years. Now any character can become almost any class, as long as they qualify for it. For example, if you want Linhardt to be a cavalier, just train him in horse riding. If you need an archer, you can train Ferdinand in using a bow. This makes your army far more modular than in preceding games. Aside from your tutoring them, you also have the opportunity to befriend the people you meet at the monastery. By interacting with various students and colleagues in the academy, the world of Three Houses comes to life. Between lessons, you can grab lunch with your students, learning more about them and their lives. Keep in mind though that these students could die in battle at any moment. If you lose a unit, it's even worse when you've gotten to know them over lectures and lunches.
We have the strength to scale the walls between us, to reach out our hands in friendship so we can open our true hearts to one another.
Three Houses also features a fully realized 3D version of your home base. You'll run around, seeing other people living their lives in the monastery, a mechanic that may be familiar to fans of the 3DS entries in the series. These friendships mean something on the battlefield too. Whenever two units fight beside each other on the battlefield, their relationship grows stronger. When these relationships hit certain milestones, a unit's combat stats will boost, increasing their likelihood of survival. They're pals, so they wouldn't want to lose each other in battle. Any of your units can befriend any of your other units. You don't have to be involved, so there's a strategic reward to fostering friendships. If two characters work well together, bolstering their relationship will only make them better. Out of combat, you'll see them have cute conversations with each other. Nintendo also confirmed that romantic relationships would return in Three Houses.
After the 5-year jump, you can even pursue a romantic relationship with someone.
These pairings would have the strongest bond, translating to some of the best combat bonuses available. For the first time in the series, each unit has a battalion assigned to it. These groups of soldiers provide backup to your talented characters, and you can actually see them on the battlefield when the camera zooms in. They provide passive bonuses to unit stats like +3 physical attack or +1 to your hit chance. Each battalion also comes equipped with a Gambit skill, which can only be used a certain number of times per combat. These powerful abilities vary in their effect, but they seem to have incredible useful bonuses. For example, one can increase the number of spaces your unit can move in that turn. Another can boost your damage for that round of battle if you need some extra punch. Pairing friendly allies together on the battlefield can multiply the effect of a Gambit, making it stronger. Every character can equip multiple combat arts, and each one comes with special effects for different situations, making certain characters excel against specific enemy types. For example, some combat arts do more damage to archers, turning your unit into a powerful archer deterrent. Veterans might recognize the mechanic from the previous Fire Emblem game, Echo's Shadow of Valentia. However, this time around, arts deduct your weapon's durability rather than your character's health. When a weapon's durability reaches 0, it breaks, so you'll have to weigh your options.
You can't just spam the combat arts, you have to be very strategic about how you use them.
The weapon triangle was a core tenet of Fire Emblem combat that's been around since the 4th game in the series. Depending on what weapon your unit uses, it could have an advantage or disadvantage against other weapons. Generally speaking, swords beat axes, axes beat spears, and spears beat swords. Longtime fans know these relationships among weapon types like the back of their hands. With Three Houses, Nintendo and Intelligent Systems decided to throw it all out the window. This bold decision turns Fire Emblem on its head, and in a way, everyone has to grow accustomed to this new aspect of battle. You might be worried that the lack of a weapon triangle would leave a strategic void in combat, but the combat arts fill that hole nicely, promising more complex layers of depth. Some press outlets got to see Three Houses at E3, which resulted in many articles about the drastic changes to the series. Eric Van Allen, news editor of US Gamer, mentioned that this upcoming game is the biggest of the series, yet the essence of the game remains distinctly Fire Emblem. He wrote, "While the weapon triangle is no more, you still have the grid, combat forecasts, and units to move around and smash into each other. There's even an option to skip all the instructing and school life stuff, if you're so inclined." Meanwhile, Harvey Gwaltney, associate editor at Game Informer, found that Intelligent Systems was challenging the identity of Fire Emblem by introducing new mechanics. For the most part, he believes these risks will pay off for the franchise. "I came away from that demo highly impressed with what I saw, and confident this entry in an already well-loved series will be something special." For North American Fire Emblem fans, the Seasons of Warfare Edition might be up your alley. For $100, you'll get a steelbook, an art book, a calendar, and a sound selection CD along with a copy of the game. Japan gets a similar special edition, simply called the Fodlan Collection. This box comes with everything in the Seasons of Warfare Edition except the calendar. European fans can keep an eye out for the Fire Emblem Three Houses Limited Edition. It's largely similar to the Seasons of Warfare Edition, but instead of a CD, you'll get a USB stick with a design on it, and there won't be a calendar. Instead, there's a set of pins representing each house, available in the US as a GameStop pre-order bonus. Check out one of our newest videos right here, plus even more SVG videos about your favorite games are coming soon. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell so you don't miss a single one.